which is something he wanted to do all his life. He never, as interested as he was in baseball, he never wanted to be a sports reporter. He wanted to do general assignment.
Well, shall we head to the museum so you
Yeah.
can see some of the things?
Did you want any? You want me to show you anything more?
Well, is there anything that you want to show?
No, there's nothing I wanted. You want to know what was in the pages?
Yeah.
I'll go through it quickly. That's the Chase Bank, the arrangement with the Chase Bank. This is property held by either of us in a fiduciary capacity. Let me just show you that. That's Franklin's signature and Glendora's signature, and they're all notarized. That's the notary's signature there. I wrote this trust. I said to my so-called lawyer, who was really more of a friend than a lawyer, Brad Sachs, I said to him when I decided that we should have a trust, I said to Brad Sachs, what do you know about a trust fund? He says, nothing except what you're going to tell me after you read up on it. So I wrote it, and it is all properly written, and these are all the things that you have to do in a trust fund. I hope you do it, folks. If you do it, it will be accurate. Lawyers make so many mistakes. And if you do it, you will have the feeling for it. This when we, last week when we wanted to transfer the ownership of Franklin's 1993 Lincoln, we had his and hers Lincolns. Mine's a 1980 Lincoln, his was a 1993. We right away went to the trust and we found the title to the 1993 car. There it is. And we were able to transfer the ownership, and I want to commend Holly Tanner, who is the county clerk of the County of Columbia, State of New York, and also the commissioner of motor vehicles for that county. She went and made out all of the papers. 3 difficult, look at all of them, folks. She went and she made out all those papers for us. And so we got the registration, we got the 10-day delay that you can have on getting it inspected. She is a magnificent public servant. Young and pretty, personable. Okay, what else is there? The business and professional interests. That would be the Glendora TV ads, Glendora Happy Book, Glendora, A Chat with Glendora, and there's one other, Glendora Cheerful Look-alike at Life, where you tell 5 jokes in 30 seconds. This is the affidavit of successor trustee for trustee who has resigned. It's pretty complete, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it goes on and on and on, and it says Article 4, die instructions. Well, the die instructions have been revised, every year since.
So maybe we can go over the updated ones later.
It isn't written.
Oh.
You mean the die instructions?
Mm-hmm.
No, it isn't written. We're going to rewrite it around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Well, okay. So we're done with this, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, thank heaven.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Here's something. Here's something Franklin wrote. Oh yes, look at this. He made it very clear. Hospitals are not for me. Can you read it, Victoria? He says that he wants to die at home.
Can you read it?
Okay, I'll try. Hospitals are not for me. I choose not to go to the hospital if I am sick. Credit medical with its accomplishments, but I have seen many cases of the elderly in hospitals where the patient languishes and little or nothing is done for them and for me. What's that word, Victoria?
Cherished.
Thank you. See how well he writes? The cherished surroundings of home in is the better place to be. At 78 years of age, this
Is my
what's that word, do you know?
like declaration.
Oh, God, good for you, Franklin. Franklin Buell. Franklin Buell, you know, he spells it with his Y. His mother was very particular about that because her father was Franklin with a Y. And where is it? White Plains, New York. And I did the same. And I want you all to know that, okay? I want to die at home if I can. There's mine.
Can you read me yours?
Oh, sure. I can't even read my own writing. If I get sick, I do not want to go to the hospital and be tortured to death like Merrill Folsom. I want to stay home, even if it means I die. Even if it means I guess die. I want to die at home. Yeah, I want to stay home even if it means I die. And
Who's Merrill Folsom?
Well, Merrill Folsom, he's interesting. He and his wife, he's a Folsom, and I'm a Folsom. And that's how we knew each other. And he was a correspondent for the New York Times. He was a Westchester correspondent. He was head of the Westchester Bureau of the New York Times. And he and Eleanor celebrated their 75th wedding anniversary. 75th year. And they would tell you about getting married, and they got married in something. You know, the people back then, they didn't say 1905, they said 1905. Not 5. And it was terrible. They wouldn't even give him a drink of water. They gave him his slimy stuff. He wanted a drink of water. And how man suffered. Of course, he died in the White Plains Hospital. Why don't we go get the, would you go into that top drawer of that little chest and bring out Franklin's book?
Mm-hmm.
And then would you bring out that jolly picture of him on the wall?
Sure. This top drawer?
Yep. And look, you see something of love?
Not yet.
Yep. Top drawer, honey?
This is the right one?
No, honey, the little chest.
Oh, this one. Oh, here we go. And then the top picture?
Well, you don't have to because it's in there. Or unless you think that one's better.
This is great.
This is the picture that's on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Something of love. And look at this. Look at that. What does it say? Who encourages and what?
And appreciates.
Well, I did a lot of encouraging, I can tell you that.
What about appreciating?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. All of these poems and all of these articles, poems and prose, were published in the Buffalo Evening News, which was a big newspaper. It dominated Western New York. And he started writing these poems one morning in Buffalo in January. Ground covered with feet and feet of snow. It began to thunder. And being from New England, I had never experienced that. Thunder in wintertime. And I said, Franklin, I think you should write a poem about that. And that's when he wrote a poem called White Thunder. Okay, so you
Where's
see,
that poem?
it's in here.
Could you read it when we find it?
Oh, sure. You could read it better. You see, this is an article he wrote about it's good to keep craftsmanship alive. It's about a ordinary, nondescript person who had a hobby and did great things with his hands. And he brought it alive. And Joe Cronin in Long Island now, in Lindenhurst, Long Island, he reads this book and talks to me about it by the hour over the telephone, how Franklin caught the spirit of buffalo in the 60s. It's gone. It's all gone, but here it lives. Lilacs, and then he alternates it with one of his prose stories. Probably, it'd take me a while to find White Thunder, but I'll look for it. Rainbows, largesse, Jack awaits. Jack always has helped people. Isn't that cute? See? Jack always has helped people. That's the kind of thing he wrote about. I read one of these once a month, one of the poems. I know my favorite, and I don't want to tell you the title because it gives away the punchline. I wonder if there's an index.
I think in the back.
You think you saw an index?
Yeah.
He wrote the best Christmas stories. They would send him out Christmas Eve to cover all the churches on Christmas Eve services, and he really knew what Christmas was about. I see he's got one in here on Christmas Eve, 1964. Wait, there's one. Anyway, do you see White Thunder anywhere?
Is that your favorite one?
No, my favorite one is Visitor. What they mix the poem?
Oh, there it is.
What, Visitor?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
39.
Thank you. You'll love this, folks. What's that, 29?
39.
Here it is. I'll show it to you. I'm not the best one to read it. Making a midsummer call, he is no bother at all. He doesn't talk, never eats, never takes the softest seats. Though he may come late at night, there's no need to leave a light. He doesn't muss up a bed, requires no planning ahead. Careful not to stay too long. He seems to do nothing wrong, but all that does not reveal the key to this guest's appeal. It's his smile through a window frame. This makes you glad the full moon came.
Why is that one your favorite?
Well, it's just so obvious. The concept of it is so great, and his words are so good. Did you want me to find White Thunder?
Do you like that poem?
Yeah, I like him. I like them all. But that's my best. Just one other one. Contentment, I think it's called. This you'll find pretty funny. You see it anywhere? Contentment.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we close this up?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Oh yeah, that does apply.
Okay, so what is this?
Well, I just want everybody, I want you to sit down and write your biography, your autobiography. What happened the decade that you were born, and what happened the next decade. But then, and writing is great, because all these things are going to pass when you pass. So then I said, well, that's dumb. Put it on audio tape. So, we started audio taping it. And I think it's up to as far as 1956, which were very big years. Very big years. And I said, that's dumb. Put it on videotape. You know, why go 2, 3 generations back as far as technology? Put it on videotape. And that's what I'm doing. In fact, I finished it. But I've got to go back and play these on videotape. In other words, I sit down at a desk and play these on a videotape player. Excuse me, an audio tape player. And then get the whole story. Okay? Trailer is lifted. They'll all go back this way anyhow. The columns will tilt this way as soon as the trailer is lifted.
Yeah.
while you're going there, these are all Franklin's newspaper articles. All of these, excuse me, over here this way, I'm sorry. There's 70 three-ring notebooks filled with his newspaper articles. Museums is a big thing up here, you know, in Massachusetts.
Mhm. What's the think drawer?
Well, when questions come up, such as should I do an autobiography? It'll come up one day, and certainly not that day you're going to do it, or the next day, in a week or so, and you look at it every day. It's something that comes up that you think maybe should be done, and you look at it every day, and then finally you decide, yes, it should be done. Or questions, or something comes up that you don't like and it bothers you, so you take out the paper and you look at it and you think about it till it finally resolves itself. There's probably things in the think drawer that's never been resolved, right? What a nice light you have. I think that audio tape you're looking for is in either in this audio tape drawer or in the new one that was started. So you want to get that. You want to remember that.
Okay.
Oh, look, I'm going to sit in a chair. There's chairs here. This is Franklin's teddy bear. Franklin got him when he was just when he was only a year old, and that would be in 1919. So how old is this teddy bear? About 90 years old?
And are these some of his coats hanging?
No, those are all Glennie's. Teddy red sweater. Ain't he cute? Look at his little pants. Look where his nose is all worn out, where Franklin kissed him so many times. Little pants, aren't they cute?
So were these pieces of furniture that were in your
Yes.
last home?
Yes, this is about where he spent all day. Was in this red chair.
This is where, who spent?
Franklin. He spent all day. His last days. In fact, this is in this chair is where he went into a coma on the morning of October 18th. You see that calendar up there? That's why I keep that calendar. See? October 2008 in October.
In 2003?
Excuse me, I misspoke. 2003.
And why do you keep the calendar?
Because it was over his bed that year. The year of his death day. This is Franklin's family tree. It's a huge thing. It was up to date up to the 2000s. Buell family tree. They came over, well actually the Buells came over with William the Conqueror in 1066, and they were French of course from Normandy, and their name was Baville, and it got to be Buell, anglicized to Buell. Would you like to see his mother and father? This is his mother and father. This is Franklin and Glendora in 1958. Excuse me. Yeah, 1950. Yeah, that's right. 1958. They'd been married only 4 or 5 years then. This is Franklin with the vice president of the Buffalo News, receiving an award or giving an award. This is the Franklin Buell Day. Do you see Franklin Buell Day anywhere? The proclamation, is this the proclamation?
Mm-hmm.
Franklin Buell Day? Yeah, isn't this it? City of Buffalo, Common Council, whereas. This should be Franklin Buell Day.
What day is Franklin Buell Day?
The day he retired. The city of Buffalo made it Franklin Buell Day. The day he retired.
That's June 21st, 1984.
Yes, it is. June 21st is the first day of the summer solstice. It is the summer solstice. This is the Buell coat of arms. No. Franklin Buell in appreciation of his clear and objective reporting on events at City Hall, 1961 to 1984. And here's the buffalo. Should I show you that Buffalo Bison's jacket that they gave him?
Mm-hmm.
You want to see that? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a leak in the floor. It didn't amount to much, did it?
Not bad.
All right, Buffalo Bison's jacket.
And this is Franklin when he was how old? On the wall here.
Right here, I would say about 21, wouldn't you? 18, 19, 21. People who knew him said that he had beautiful hair. His hair was receding from the time I met him. Now here's Buffalo Bison. Right here, Bison's jacket. This is pretty good, folks. We can find things. Particularly since Barbara and Walter Slater helped me 5 hours day before yesterday. That's it. You look right in, and here it is, the Buffalo Bisons.
And when did he get this jacket?
When he retired, 1984, June 21st. And he got all those honors.
And why don't you wear it?
Well, good idea, Vicky.
I think it would look great on you.
It's a very nice jacket. It's all quilted inside.
So what does this museum represent to you?
Well, it's a record of the depravity in the courts and the declaration and proof that we no longer have courts. It's like picking up an overripe apple. You pick it up and it just squashes in your hands. There's nothing there. People don't have courts. You have no place to go. You have no place to go to get justice. You can't get justice. The big guys are going to win in court. The friends of the judges are going to win the part of the machinery, the gangsterism that runs the courts, that says from back in the courts, you judges, the judges are just puppets. And the people who are really running the courts say to the judges, you get that money. I don't care what constitutional rights you have to violate or what statutes you have to violate. You get that money or else. That's what the courts have come down to. And a country that can't enforce the law has no background. Where's a country that can't enforce the law going to? You don't have a country. If there's no law enforcement, you don't have a country, do you? Because that's what a country is all about. It's protecting the citizens. And that's what the First Amendment says. You have the right to petition your government for redress of wrong. You've got the right, but you don't have the tools to do it with anymore. So that's one thing it means to me. The other thing it means to me is the man who poured out his heart and his personality and his love for 37 years as a newspaper reporter and was a gentleman, was always a gentleman. He dressed as a gentleman and he always behaved like a gentleman. That's one thing it represents to me.